Welcome to this target tip of the day, which is about easy unpivoting of your data and data discovery. In the target client, you might want to go to the data discovery option to start working with some external data sources. But before you add that data source, let's look into an example. Okay, so very often your data might look like this. We have a number of columns like the country column over here, Canada, Denmark, etc. A company dimension here, and then we got 12 months of data up here in right now a pivoted structure. The numbers that we see here are actually our measures, maybe their number of sales. But right now, if I just import these into Target, each of these columns will be treated as a separate measure. And what we really wanted these data to look like is this. Here the data has been unpivoted, so each of these month columns has now become rows here. So we got 12 rows for Canada, casual, health and retail with their measure values over here. And now we would like to show you how you can achieve this if you only had the first data source. So let's close this one here. Notice the name here, sample data in pivoted format. So now if I go here to add this data source, it's an Excel data source. I just need to browse it. It's actually this one right here. So OK on that. And we don't need to change any of the other properties. So just save this data source and it goes there. Now if I just click it, I'll look at a preview of my data and you can see that I still got the problem with my pivoted data. I don't really want these 12 month columns. They should be unpivoted into rows. So what I really need to do is to close the preview, go here and right click my data source to create a format. And maybe at first we should rename this format. I'll just call it my sample data unpivoted like this. And then the next neat trick is that we want to unpivot all my columns from here. So notice this option here, unpivot all columns to the right. If I simply click this, then all my 12 month columns will be unpivoted. They actually became a new column here. It's called attribute 1, and also we got the measures over here, value 1. But maybe you would like to go and change that name, attribute 1. So change the properties here, column name into months, and the same, we just need to save this one, and the same with the last column. That's your measure column, and maybe this measure was actually number of sales. So having done that, I now have this format here, this one, which I'm going to use as my real data source. It's actually just a modification of the original data source, but now with unpivoted data. You can click it here to do a preview, and you can see that your months goes in as rows by now. So let's go here and create a very quick cube on that. Let's just call this cube my unpivot test cube, like this, and find the format unpivoted data, this one here, sample data unpivoted. It's a fact table. We got those 4 columns here. Maybe I would like to go into my attribute settings and just make sure that my country dimension is only a dimension as well as my company and month dimension. Number of sales is a measure, but I would like it only as a sum measure. And once we save it from here, we now got this unpivot test cube. Let's go and have a look at it. It's right here in my source data in my client. Let's add a chart for this. And from this new cube, let's pick up the number of sales sum measure together with maybe my month dimension. And you see the 12 months goes there. And we could also add another chart, maybe a pie chart, and also with number of sales by company, to produce something like this for retail and wholesale, and maybe a cross-tab as well with the countries goes over here. I just want to change the scaling like this. So now we got a complete dashboard based upon our unpivoted data. You could do drill downs as you know it from the countries, or maybe from a month and a wholesale company like this. I hope you got inspired by this small example on how to unpivot your data in data discovery. And hopefully we'll see you again for the next Target tip of the day on Target's YouTube channel.